I'm going to do all this stuff. So to grow your business is essentially to move in arithmetic progression. To scale is to progress in geometric progression. So, but what's the difference structurally? The difference is the weight that it brings on your operational excellence, right? So if you just grow your business, perfect example. Growing a business is like being the mother to a child. The child is growing, but you don't see the difference. Scaling a business is like being the child's uncle. You saw him when he was born or when she was born, and then you went home after the naming ceremony, and then 8 years later, you're seeing the young chap, and he's a completely different, person. Like he's grown and all that. But the problem is that imagine if that happened 1 year after. Imagine if you showed up 1 year after and the child is 8 years old. That's exactly what it means. So, for that to happen, there's a lot of transformation that needs to happen in the business operation, in the way. And I want to try and see how I can cover as much of that as possible within the next few minutes, right? So how do you scale? So how many of us here would love to be able to scale? Let me give you an instance. So one of the sessions I'm having at the convention, thanks to those of you that have paid. I'm seeing you guys tomorrow. One of the sessions we're having at the convention is with one of our clients, and she is the definition of scale. She's the most potent definition of scaling a business I have worked with, because they moved their business, and this is very important for those of us joining the alliance. This is how important this alliance is, right? She moved her business from 100 million naira year-end 2019. Year-end 2019, 100 million. Year-end 2020, we started working with them in 2020, 3.6 billion. Year-end 2019, 100 million. Year-end 2020, 3.6 billion. Year-end 2021, 17.4 billion.
Great.
Year-end 2022, about 22 billion. So they moved from scaling to growing by the third year, because it wasn't 17 to 22 is not that different, but to move from 100 to 3.6 is a huge jump. The staff moved from a few tens to more than 100 staff in the space of 1 year, and then 3.6 to 17 was also a huge jump. And there was a lot of work that happened in that space. So I'm saying that just so that you realize that if you are in a high growth industry, which all of us here are, the possibility to scale is there. What do I mean by a high growth industry? An industry that has a growth rate excess of 25%. Right? So the real estate industry, the property industry, which is where we all play, has a growth rate, in some cases, excess of 50% per annum. So if an industry is growing at that rate, it means that, and when an industry is growing at that rate, at 50%, it means that inside the industry, there are industries that are growing at 200%, 300%. For example, how many of you have noticed the sudden rise of mega furniture companies?
Yeah, the ones that want to take us out. Just
on Okwebi here now, there are 3 of them opening. Massive buildings. I'm like, is it that profitable? But it is. The real estate industry is growing at a stupendous rate. And so some industries are going to be affected. So let's just run through. All these ones are not important. So the first thing first is to realize that there is more growth potential in chaos than at times of peace. And I say this so that all of us don't get sucked in to the madness of what's happening in Nigeria. Because you see a lot of people say things like, Nigeria, things are hard. Let me ask you a question. I want to get responses on this. How many of us have made more money this year than we did last year? How many of us? Your business has done more money this year than it did last year. Type yes. How many of us? Type yes. Okay. Anybody else? Your business year to date, you've done more year to date rather, than you did last year. Do it. Yes, do it is always doing it. They've done more money. Anybody else? Anybody else? I want to get as much response from us. If you haven't, just type no so that we know that you are not. Yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you wouldn't. But if you haven't, type no. If you have, type yes. How many of us? I have a second question. How many of us? How many of us who have made more money than we did last year still complain that this year is harder than last year was? If you're in that category, I want to write yes to, yes and TOO. You made more money this year than you did last year, but you are still one of those that complain that Nigeria is worse this year than it was last year. Right? So why am I saying that? All right, that what's happened to a lot of us is that we've entered into something called groupthink. What is groupthink? Groupthink is what happens when people get into a mindset because so many people are entertaining that mindset. Let me give you an instance. There was a time where we all got into groupthink with regards to giving birth to your children abroad. Right? It was a serious matter. I remember back then, my wife was like, I don't want to give birth to a child abroad. But I said, why? I asked her, why? Why is it necessary? She said, for second passport, opportunities for the child. I said, I have no problem. Fortunately, we could afford it. I said, I have no problem with that. But the problem I had with that was that if I accepted that, if I did it because I wanted my children to have more options, I felt like it was an indictment on me. Because I asked her, I said, does it matter what country Dangote's son was born or Dangote's daughter was born? Does it matter? She said, no. I said, so if we do it, it means that we have signed up for an average life and we are hoping that this passport will give them an edge. Right? I need it to be that what we've done with our lives should be what will give them an edge. So
Makes sense. Yeah.
I said, I mean, we're going to, and which we did, we're going to make sure that our kids are global citizens in the sense that, for example, my son, before his 4th birthday, he's probably visited 7 countries. We would carry them along, we would travel, we'd do all that stuff. We would go to, I mean, 2-3 times a year, he would go out of the country. We would do all that for our kids. Yes. Now we have entered groupthink of going to Japan, to UK. We're in that groupthink now, right? So people are doing it. I know people who've shut down left a lucrative job of 2 million, 3 million per annum per month, and had a side business that was doing 100 million a year, and he shut it all down, goes to the UK, gets a job that pays him money about £60,000 a year, which is a very good job, middle-class job. But now he wants to come back to Nigeria. He's tired. Because, when we hear the £60,000, we hear 60 million naira a year. But we forget that we are going to spend the money in pounds. There's rent, there's all that stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But there's also the part where we also start to accept statistics about Nigeria that supports going abroad, like things like, oh, this country is not safe, Well, it is safer statistically to live in Zambesa forest than to live in the US. How many of us know that? In Nigeria, since 2013, we've had 22 mass shootings in Nigeria. In the US, between January and March this year, just now, a mass shooting is a phenomenon where somebody carries gun and points it at least 3 or more people and shoots them. In the US, according to CNN, by March 31st, 2023, between January 2023 and March, they had 150 mass shootings in the US. In the last 10 years, we've only had 22. The last time somebody died in an elevator in Marina, everybody was very angry. This country is useless, blah, blah. But I was like, you guys, and see, it is sad to die in an elevator. You know, there's a lot of errors and we should probe it. Nobody should die in an elevator. But just Google, 17,000 people die in the US every year from elevator mishap.
Are you serious?
It's Google now. So, you know, so you see this thing, you'll be like, this country is useless. I'm going to the UK. You are 17,000 times more probable to die in an elevator in the US than you are to die in an elevator in Nigeria. Because at least, to the best of our knowledge, we've only heard of one. But why am I saying all this? I'm saying that the first step to growth, to scaling, is to separate yourself from groupthink. Is to separate yourself from thinking, oh, Nigeria is terrible, so I should scale down my goals or scale down my dreams or scale down what I want to achieve in the year. No, you know, it's not true, right? So let me share. There are 3 reasons why businesses don't scale. I'm going to rush this because I want to finish at 7:40 at the latest. The first, the 3 of them, I'll take you through the 3, and then we'll then talk about the 3 of them. First is that most of us have goals that are too small. Second, most of us plan for growth that we do not have a reason. There's no reason, and I'll explain that when I get there. And thirdly, we engage in what I call wishful thinking strategy. We want growth, but we think Angel Mukaila is going to bring it. You know, or Angel Kamaru, or Angel Nathaniel Bassi is going to just organize it and bring it. You know, so we give ourselves to all this, weird things, and we don't see the strategy in some of the things these people are doing from a business perspective. Let me use Nathaniel Bassi and Dunsin Oyekan as why did they become standout artists? You know, if you ask them, they'll tell you it's anointing. Nah, everybody's anointed. Let me explain. Very early, they figured out how to become brands. You see, there are 3 things in brands. First is that you must be easily recognizable, you must have value, and you must be consistent. If you look at Nathaniel Bassi, is easily recognizable. Anytime you see him, he has a trumpet. He's been consistent for years, and of course, it's quite valuable. Have you noticed that Dunsin Oyekan most times wears white when he's ministering? A white shirt?
Okay.
You guys haven't noticed?
Not really.
You think it's his best clothes? It's about being recognizable. It's about being recognizable. It's about being recognizable. You know? Because this thing, there's strategy in everything. You know, for those of us that are Christians, I read something, you know, I was always puzzled anytime I read the Bible. And it said that Jesus Christ showed up somewhere and there was a crowd, you know, waiting for him. You know, so the first easy explanation is that this Jesus Christ I'm talking about is the Son of God now. So in Jeremiah, will be organizing, you know, everybody for you guys. But I knew that was not the case, that there had to have been some strategy inside that space. So I just kept on searching until I saw a scripture in John, and that scripture blew me away, to realize that the same Jesus Christ that we all think of, he was a marketing genius. So the Bible says that it took 70 guys and he paired them up 2 by 2, and that he would send them to cities. But what we miss is what he says just after that statement. He said he would send them to cities that he would eventually visit. So here's what would happen. He sends 2 guys, James and John. He will say, go into this Samaria place, right? I'm coming next week, Tuesday. So James and John would enter. They will hear one guy that is blind. The guy will say, oh, you're the best thing since sliced bread, blah, blah. I say, bros, forget us. You get one guy when they come next week, Tuesday. If you see the guy, forget everything done set. Everything goes soft. So there's 70 people inside a city doing all these flash offers in all these different places and telling people that whatever you think we're good at it, there's a guy. Why do you think it shows up? There's 5,000 people, there's 7,000 people, because there's marketing that has happened. And it wasn't wishful thinking marketing. So we're going to talk a little bit about how do you orchestrate your own salvation? How do you orchestrate your own business, and so that everything is predictable. Your business growth, scaling is predictable. So very quickly, the first is that the goals are too small. This one, I have that activity that you did in class, so we're not going to do that. Because I tell people that, so we did this activity already, so let's skip that. You already know if your business can pay you. You already know how big your business needs to get. But here's what I tell people, and I want us to do a quick calculation, because I can tell you right now how big your business needs to get. All right. So imagine that your business is, most of us here did that activity, right? So imagine that I need to, this thing, I need to buy another one. Jesus Christ. So imagine that your personal expense is, let's say, 2 million a month, right? Let's assume that's the case. Let's assume that you subscribe to this philosophy saying that you want to be able to pay 20 people the amount of money that you earn. So let's assume you want to pay 20 people 2 million a month. So that means your salary profile, of course, these 20 people will not be all the 20 people that are working with you. If you have 20 people that you're paying 2 million a month, it means that you possibly would have about 50 or 60 people employed, all right? So let's say your salary profile would go up to somewhere around 60 million a month, right? Right, 60 million a month. So what that would mean is that in a year, your salary would be about 720 million. Yeah, that's your salary profile, right? Now, your salary plus your expenses, your salary shouldn't take more than 30 to 40% to 40% of revenue, right? It depends if you're in a high margin business, 30 to 40%. If you're in a low margin business, so it should probably be 5 to 10% of revenue. What I mean by low margin business, high margin business, meaning that if you have like a 20 to 30% markup on your product or service, then your salary should, because you roll, that product or service a couple of times a month. So your salary should be about 20, 30%. So let's take 30%, for example, right? If your salary will be 20, 30% of revenue, it means that this business should do 2.2 billion a year. Do we get that now? How many of us are with me? How many of us are with me?
Please type in the comment section if you're there.
I'm with you.
Oh, great. So what that means now is that if you ask yourself, if you ask yourself, what should be my goal? If this was what you pay yourself, or this is what you spend in a month, this should be your goal over the next 2 years, 3 years. Revenue, not profit. Revenue is what I mean. 2.2 billion revenue. See, so let's explain this one. See, small businesses think in terms of profits. Big business thinks in terms of revenue. Your bank does not deal with you based on what they think what your profit is, because it's flexible. Your bank thinks about you based on what your revenue is, because once you enter into these big leagues, you would realize that if you are not a publicly traded company, you have no business making profits for as long as you possibly can. So what it means is that, when they say something like Amazon didn't turn a profit for 20 years, it didn't mean Amazon didn't make money. Amazon made a lot of money, but because they didn't want to pay taxes, they did not make profits, because they took all the money that they had and they reinvested it into the business so that it could be high growth. And it worked, right? Amazon moved from selling books to selling everything online. They moved from selling everything. Now, how many of us here know 85% of the entire internet infrastructure is on Amazon, AWS, Amazon Web Services. Everybody they are everybody's server. Facebook, Netflix, everybody is on Amazon, right? That's what not making a profit for 20 years gets you. So don't think in terms of profits, think in terms of revenue, because the higher the revenue, if a bank sees the revenue coming in, if a company is making a lot of money, the company can figure out profitability, can figure out margin, and then in time figure out profitability, because you can just cut costs and figure out, how to make that happen. So if you want to think in terms of how big businesses think, you need to shift your mindset from profit thinking to because many of us even mislabel things. So let me explain what I mean by mislabel. Most people, and tell me if this is how you've been thinking about this. Most people, this is how they think. I have a service or a product that is 5K to produce. I sell at 10K. So I have 5K profits. How many of us used to think like this or still think like this? Type, yes, I do. I have a product, it's 5K. I sell for 10K. So my profit is 5K. Right? How many of us still think like that? That 5K is not your profit. That 5K is your margin. Right? That 5K is your margin, because your business has a number of costs that is not obvious. For example, there are things like sunk costs. If you have an office, your office is, let's say, 2 million per annum, right? That cost is sunk cost. You have staff members, you have to pay salaries, you have all these things you need to do. All that, because what we calculate oftentimes is just the material cost of things, or the project cost of things. Whereas there's the larger cost, in our business. So I buy for 5K, I sell for 10K, my profit is not 5K. My margin is 5K. My profit is yet to be determined, right? You can only know your profits at the end of a business year and not before, or at the end of your business year, because some people, their business year doesn't start in January. So do we understand that now? How many of us get what I'm saying now? You can only
I do.
You can only know your profits at the end of your business year. Before the end of the business year, you don't know. You know your margin, but that margin is still subject to a number of deductions, right? So why I'm saying this is that all of us here want to be billionaires, though. So you need to play this billionaire game very well. Do you understand? You have to play the billionaire, because the billionaires, if you walk into a room with billionaires or people who do businesses in billions, the discussion is revenue. You understand? They're discussing revenue. They did a revenue of X and that, blah, blah. So when they start to discuss profits, is when that business now becomes a publicly traded company, right? So when the company is private, they don't have to discuss profitability. When the company now becomes publicly traded, because at that point in time, your profitability numbers would affect your share price. If you're posting losses every single time, after a while, investors will stop buying your stock and the company will become less and less valuable. So at that level, you want to, post the number of profits. So that's why you see, like, all these banks and all that, they post profit, they post, all that kind of stuff. So grow big enough for your business to represent the dreams of your staff. That's what this is about. It's about making sure that as we grow our business, the people who work for us, people who trusted us with their lives, because don't forget, you think that they're just giving you their time, they're giving you their lives. Some of you have people that have worked for you. You've seen them as young people. They got married working for you. They have kids working for you. Do you understand? That's their life. What else is like somebody's life? There's nothing else. Nothing else represents somebody's life other than, all of that, right? If you've had somebody who's worked with you for 3, 4, 5 years, you know what you need to do? Look at the first picture that they took when they came to work for you, and look at what they look like now. You realize that they gave you their life. They gave you their lives, So we have to think about them as we grow our business. Very, very important. The second is growth for no reason. So how does this work? I had a meeting with one of my clients, right? And so she had a business that was doing 60, 70 million a year. So she then met me and said, she wanted to do 300 million. Because so I asked, what's the science behind this number? She said, no, she just wants that number. I said, okay, no problem. I said that let's assume you made 300 million. From the understanding you have of your business now, what's your margin? So she said her margin was about 40%, essentially. So I said that if you made 300 million, how much would you have? Like free money that, that doesn't have a name. She said, I think it was about 140, 130 million, something like that. So I now asked her, I said, do you have a project right now that needs 130 million? She said, no. I said, then you can't get 300 million. Because money that does not have a name never arrives. I'm telling you, money that doesn't have a name never arrives. That's why, have you noticed that the richest people whether it's Dangote or whatever, they are at every point in time when you see them, they are either just coming out of a big project or they are going into a big project, right? So think about Dangote. Is neck deep inside that refinery project now. Maybe it will come out in 5, 6 years. But before this project was the Obajana project, the largest cement factory project. Before that project, do you understand? So at every point in time, so as Dangote is now, I'm not sure he has any project in front of him because he's still trying to come out of this particular one. But once he comes out of this one, give him 2, 3 years, he stabilizes a little bit, he gets into the next big project. And you also see that his net worth reflects it, right? Anytime he gets into a big project, his personal net worth on Forbes takes a jump. It takes a jump, So if you don't have, so I've told some people, for example, some people that I'm working with, like, you don't have any project, okay, good. You know what? Go and look for a land. Go and look for a house. Do a down payment. Do you understand? And tell them, and collect a monthly payment plan that will stress you, and just come back and look at how your business would grow. We had a client like that runs a dental business. That I remember when we started working, she said, I told her that we could get your business to 50 million a month. She was doing about 7 million a month at the time. They hit 50 million a month in August. And one of the things I told her, first we got the business ready, all the structure, everything, right? Then I said, what's next now is that you need to, as a person, you need to become a real estate investor. You need to start to acquire properties. You need to go and buy a property for 60 million, 70 million, 80 million, and then you would now require like 5 million, 6 million monthly payments. She said, it's too. I said, just trust me, find one, do the first down payment, because she had all this money she was just saving. So I said, your money is losing value. Do the first down payment, and let us look at the magic that will happen in the business. She did the down payment. It was like somebody used jazz, because she would get into our office, she would sit down, and she would just be seeing money everywhere. All the things that they used to do before, all the looks and crannies where they used to drop the ball, they just started picking up, right? Because here's the thing: when people arrive, they slow down. If you're running a race, you're running a marathon, and you go past the finish line, you slow down. There's no point running at the pace at which you're running. So one of my mentors, she's late now, she told me, and I didn't quite understand it when she said to me, she had to explain it. She said her goal was to never achieve her goal. It was strange for me, because me, I'm a trainer now. You tell people have goals, you can achieve your goal, go everything. She said her goal was to never achieve her goal. And I said, how does that work? She said that whenever, and I do this since then, whenever her goal is in sight, like she gets to a point, she can see it in front of her. So she's like maybe 70%, 80% in, she can see it. She goes on a personal retreat for a day or two, and she sets a new goal. Because she said that there was a time she achieved everything she wanted to achieve in life. Everything. She was earning blood money, a lot of money. And then she said she didn't even know that she slowed down. She woke up 6 years after to realize that she hadn't made any progress. 6 years. Do you know that life where you just, like, where you've made all the money you want to make and you just want to be taken care of, soft life. When you enter your soft life regime, you're just there. Where the life where everything you have more than what you thought you could have, and everything you wanted, you could get it. Like you didn't have to. You wanted a car, you could get it tomorrow. You understand? If she saw a car, she liked the car, she could get into the shop tomorrow and she would pay all cash for it. She said that she woke up 6 years after to realize that she was stuck for 6 years. So her goal now is to never achieve her goal. So anytime she sees her goal in sight, she takes a personal retreat, and then she tries to work on herself, right? She tries to, figure out how she can, rejig herself and set another goal that is beyond that goal, so that when she breezes past that goal, she can take a day or two, be happy about it, but the next day she's on to the next one, right? So if you don't have plans, when do we now rest? Well, you take a day or two, you chill now, But more than that, you have to integrate rest into your life. So, because for most of us, we need to realize that rest is not something we go to do. Let me give you an instance. Personally, right? If not for this meeting tomorrow, I do not go to the office on Mondays. I don't go to the office on Mondays at all. What I do on Mondays is that I would wake up. I call it slow Monday. My management meeting with my organization is on Tuesdays. On Mondays, I would wake up. If I have any Netflix movie I've been trying to watch, I pile it up on Monday. So on Monday, I'll just wake up slow. The kids have gone to school. Everybody's gone. I'm at home alone. I would just waste my life from morning till like 2, 3 p.m. Do absolutely nothing in my life. Just chill. I won't even try to walk. From 3 p.m., I will now ask myself a question. How can we do better this week? The quality of ideas I get between 3 and 5 is amazing. I get to the office on Tuesday, fantastic. Monday, that is my rest day, is my most productive day as a person. So because of that, I don't have to go and rest. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I don't have of course I would travel, I would do, because even those of you that travel, you that say travel, vacation is more work. Have you done vacation before? Vacation is more tedious than your business. How many of us have gone on vacation before with your children?
That one is punishment.
Have you noticed that when you go for vacation and you come back from vacation, you need to rest? You need to rest from the vacation that you have taken. So even the rest we're talking about is not even, and these days where everybody's online now, you go on vacation. Instead of you to sit down, enjoy the boat ride, you are snapping picture because village people must know what's up. You understand? So you are snapping picture, you are busy, you are working hard to make sure you update your village people on Instagram. Do you understand? So it's not even vacation, it's work. It's a serious work, right? So it's important that we make sure that in our bid to grow, we create, a future for ourselves and make sure that everything we want to achieve, there is no idle money. And I for those of us that are Christians, I have a biblical. So as a person, I read the Bible as a business document. It's a good book for as a Christian, but I would encourage you to sort of take your religious mind off and just read it as you would read a textbook. You'll be shocked at what you would find. Because if you could just look at things just as they are, you'd be intrigued. So there's a lot of metaphors in the Bible, and a lot of. So there's this guy who had a barn. And then he planted stuff came up. He said, you know what, I'll build a bigger barn. And then he built, and then he planted, and then, he kept on growing. In fact, he was scaling his business. And then they got to a point, he said, you know what, I've reached the bus stop. This time is just to chill and be taken care of. He died that night. Right? Why? Because any growth, anytime people are not trying to grow, they're dying. His own case might have happened very suddenly, but it happens to most people. You just chill, you start aging, you're sleeping too much now. You wake up, your leg is cranky. Now you need, what's the name of our friends? All those people. Chiropractor, physiologist, everything, right? So, like I said, learn to never achieve your goals, making sure that by the time you are getting to a goal, you're already thinking about what the next goal would be. It's very important. It helps you to organize yourself properly. So, like I said, billionaires move from problems to problem. So I have this philosophy that I teach my people. I say, look, you have to choose your own problem and don't allow problem choose you. That even the devil, whenever you choose a problem, it tends to leave you alone when you are busy.
Yeah.
If you are trying to avoid problem, the problem that will find you. There was a guy in the Bible. They said all kings went to war in a particular time. Everybody chose their problem. They went to go and fight. He was formerly CEO. He did not go. He was sipping pina colada on his roof. The problem that caught his eye on his roof almost destroyed his life. He lost 1/3 of his people to it. He lost 2 of his sons to it. He lost 2 of his daughters to it. He lost a son, a baby that died to it. I mean, just think about, so just choose your problem. If you wake up in the morning and you're chasing 2 billion naira, 2.2 billion naira, you know, chances are that village problem will not see you. You two will not see them. Because you will not have time to notice that somebody is praying wrong prayers against you if you're running towards your own goal, right? So always figure out your problem. The third, and this is where I'll earn, is growing from a wishful thinking strategy, right? So the first thing, if you don't want to be a wishful thinking entrepreneur, you need to be clear as to who you are serving. You know, and usually when I say this, most people think that I mean, oh, you need to be talking to very wealthy clients. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you need to understand who your business is targeting and focus on that person. Who your business is targeting based on the marketing resources that you have. Right? So, for example, some of us here know Bugatti, Maserati, and all that. All those brands are owned by B2. B2, Ijapa B2, exactly. So the next time you see a B2 and a Bugatti standing next to each other, that B2 is his uncle. B2, because see, a Bugatti might be the most expensive car in the world, but Bugatti as a company is not profitable. They have actually sold so many times because, so when Bugatti releases a car, it's 3.6 million, they can only release about 40 of those cars. Because if you're buying a $3.6 million car, you better be only 1 out of 40 people that will have that car on the face of the earth. In fact, the cars are even numbered. So when you buy it, you know the number that you are buying. The problem is that has put the cap of Bugatti on that model to $160 million. Because if you can only produce 40, and you're selling for 3.6 to 4 million, that's $160 million. Toyota, on the other hand, can produce one model and print. They would print out 2 million, 10 million copies of that car. So Toyota could make 5, 10, 20 billion from one model of car. Bugatti can only make 160 million from the same model of car. So why I'm saying that is that expensive doesn't always mean better. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, if you're targeting that market, please by all means go ahead. You know, but what I mean is you need to ask yourself a very honest question: can my marketing deliver my ideal clients? See, because if you want to attract a billionaire to work with you, your marketing must be able to deliver him. For example, if you want to be doing houses, like you want to be doing interior decoration for interior design for houses in Banana Island, they're not going to find you on Instagram. Because those people, they don't have time to go on Instagram as much. And even if they do, they don't make buying decisions from Instagram. So there are places where you will meet those people. There are restaurants you must go and eat. Some of those restaurants, the bill is 200, 300, 500K per meal. There are places you must hang out. If you are flying, you cannot fly, you cannot be in 17B. If your number is not 1A, 2A, 3A, maybe 4A, there's no how they can help your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you need to be if you are not there, it's true. If you're not at that level, then you need to ask yourself, the level that I am now. I'll give you an instance. We worked with one particular client like that. in fact, I'm doing a fireside chat with them at the convention. So they had done 960 million last year. So I met them just about this time last year. They came to our convention. After the convention, wanted to work with us, blah, blah, blah. And then they got into a mastermind, much like you're going to get into now, because I'm going to be quite involved in this one. And so, but they're in real estate. They had a land that they were selling that was 35 million per plot for that land. So in January, when we sat down, we said, you know what? We looked at the asset they had, like the realtors and all that, and we realized that the realtors that they had were not in the class of realtors that could easily sell a 35 million land. So they sold very sparingly. In the whole of the year, they only sold about 30 of those plots. That's how they did the 900 million stuff. So we said, you know what? Let's put a pause on this 35 million land first. Let's develop a product that our realtors can easily sell. Then let's come back to this 35 million land towards the end of the year or in 2024, when we as a company can take the profit, take money from our business and invest in building our credibility so that we can. So they got a land that was 2.2 million. By the end of the first quarter, sent me a message by April 3rd. They had done 1.4 billion in sales. It took them the whole of 2022 to do 960 million. By January to April, they had done 1.4 billion in sales. As we speak now, they're closing at 5 billion naira sales. So now the company has money. The company can do the positioning. Do you understand? Because those type of high value land, high value properties, is positioning that you used to sell it. You don't sell it. You don't sell it because you are a good salesperson. Salespeople cannot sell that land, right? So, but what I'm driving at is you need to make sure that your capacity to market can reach the type of people you want to reach, or you focus on the type of people your marketing can reach, so that you don't frustrate your life. Do you understand? So, okay, I'm going to do this with some people tomorrow. So, like I said, if you then start to achieve your goal, you need to focus on operational excellence, which is, so I talk about two concepts. The first is some people prepare to grow, but they don't prepare for growth. Preparing to growth is marketing and all that kind of stuff. Preparing for growth is, upgrading your operational efficiency to be ready for the growth level that you're expecting, right? Let me just take some simple things. First, if you are in this room and every of your clients still has to talk to you, you're the first person that they contact. Like, there's a direct line from the customer out there straight to you, you're not ready. You need to shift that now. I'm not saying that you should shut off all your clients, continue talking to people that you're talking to, but you need to create another channel. They must be able to reach somebody before they can reach you. Number two, if you are here and you have people that work for you and they are still using their personal line to be answering calls for your company, you're also not ready. When you hire somebody and the person is client-facing, meaning that the person would, at any point in time, get a phone call from somebody who doesn't work in the organization, that person should be given a phone and a line. Right? Very important. Number three, interior design is essentially project management. If you have to personally be in every single project, every single time, at this stage, you should have project managers working for you, right? So that you can handle multiple projects, 10 projects, 5 projects, and the likes, right? At this stage, if somebody's still paying money into your personal account, it's a spiritual problem. you need to get somebody, you need to open an account and make sure that all monies goes straight to the business account. Very important. At this stage, now I'm not so keen on whether you must have an office or not, right? But wherever it is that your office is located must be a high value place. Wherever it is you call your office must be high value. Do you understand? Right? So having said that, I'm going to stop from there now. I'll take a few questions and then I would get out of your face, because the next conversation I'm going to be having is how you're going to become a billionaire in 12 months. And that will be handled by our Oga at the top, who is handling everything.
Thank you very much.
Any
Okay,
questions?
so thank you. Yeah, so thank you very much, Ezekiel. So any questions, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to ask. Ezekiel, please, while you give me sharing right, please feel free to ask. Ask him now. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask.
Any questions? In the absence of questions, I want to say thank you. And those that I'm seeing tomorrow, I'm going to see you at 11 o'clock, hopefully. Or,
yeah,
on the time.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we'll have an amazing time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much, Ezekiel. Thank you very much. Okay, so I would good evening, everyone. And thank you for joining us, and hope you learned a lot. I mean, I've learned a lot anyway, so I hope that, and I believe that you've also learned a lot today. Okay, so in the absence of no questions, we're going to go straight into it. Okay, how to make this happen. And I'm so happy and excited to say that I am going to be sharing my best kept secrets, or people that I've been working with, and that's one of the reasons why we launched this initiative. Okay, so the whole idea of, for those who were at the conference, well, anyways, this is open to those that have a conference. It's not open to everyone. Only those at the conference are the ones that have the opportunity to know about this first, before we take it out to other people. But I'm hoping that at the end of the day, we're able to work with those who came for the conference and those who are ready to scale their interior design business. Okay, so I'm sure on that day, when I talked about the Billionaires Interior Designers Alliance, I'm sure you're wondering what exactly it is. If you have an idea what it is, can you share in the chat button? If you think you have an idea what it is. If you don't, say you don't, but check in the comment section, please. So please share. Do you know what it is, or what do you think we're about to, or what it's all about? Okay, please feel free to drop in the chat button. Okay, I don't, that's fine, that's fine. I know all some people just heard on that day was billion. How they don't know? Okay, someone said I do. Fantastic. Okay, so basically, the Billionaire Interior Designers Alliance is a 12-month exclusive program for interior designers. So it's not for everyone, it's exclusive. It's exclusive because the people that we're going to bring on board, it's important that we take a small number so that we can work with them closely to ensure that we all get that target of what it is that we want. Then we can scale up as we go along. But like I said, exclusive. So it's going to be just for a few number of people, a few people, right? Okay. So basically that's what it's all about. So if you want to discover how to become a billionaire, then the BIDA is for you. So it's called the BIDA. And I'm sure those of you who stayed to the end of the conference, you must have watched the unveiling. And for me, it's more like, I see that most interior designers, we're doing what we love, we're passionate about what we love. But the question now is, how can we turn our passion into assets? How can we turn our passion into being able to be financially free, okay, including myself? How can we make this happen? We are designing spaces for people. Most of us do not even own homes that we design. Most of us do not even have the kind of life or whatever it is that our clients have. And I feel that there has to be a shift. And this is the time for us to do that. Okay, So the BIDA, that's what I'll be calling it now so that we understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's a mastermind program. So it's going to be for 12 months. It's not a course. It's not an online course. It's not so don't think they're going to school. No, it's not an online course. It's a mastermind program where you have high-level people or people who are ready, who are forward-thinking, who want to grow their businesses will be part of the mastermind. And here we'll have mentors from real estate industry and interior design industry that would help us consciously to get to that place that we want to get to. And that's why I intentionally put the billionaire there as the name, because that also will guide our mentors or people that we're going to be working with. It's going to also guide them in knowing that this is where we are heading to, this is where we want to go to, and this is what we have to achieve, okay? So it's a program, like I said, for those who want to be involved in strategic partnerships, especially in real estate. Now, from the conference, we can see that interior design and real estate definitely go hand in hand. We cannot work separately. And I see that if we're able to have partnerships with them in the real estate industry, which we already know, like the ones I've spoken to already, they're excited about it, they're ready to work with us, and they already understand the need to collaborate. They understand that they are also not able to deliver on their projects because they do not have the right expertise or the right people to work with. Most of them have either been burnt and they either work with some people that have messed up the jobs or stuff like that. However, if they're able to get people who can work with them and there are no issues and all that, they were guaranteed to continue getting jobs from them and all that. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why BID was created to also help us to build wealth through real estate and interior design. So like I said, it's a 12-month program. The idea is to transform you, your life, and your business. So it's not just about you making money. It's about your mindset. It's about who you are. It's about your personal life, your business. At the end of the day, I want to see interior designers who are transformed both in their lives and in their business. So it's trickling up business, but it's a network of interior designers who are ready to thrive. It's no gossip zone. It's a no competition. We're not going to compete ourselves. We're going to genuinely love ourselves. So it's for those who are ready and genuinely ready to collaborate and work together to achieve the same goal that we all have. So it's not for those who do not want to work together or not ready to share or not ready to learn. This is definitely not for you. Okay, so like I mentioned, most interior designers do not have the life they desire. We're stressed out. We do not even know how to wind down. So in the mastermind, we definitely will have opportunities where we're going to wind down, where we're going to deal with our mental health, deal with other issues that concern us, even as far as having an accountability partner or coach is going to guide you throughout the 12 months, okay? And it's not all about just making money. It's also you growing as a person, even your spiritual life. Your spiritual life is also going to be part of it because we also want to see that whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, whatever it is that you practice, you also grow spiritually. So for me, my mission for this BIDA is to raise interior designers who are forward-thinking and ready to change the status quo, who are ready to collaborate, and who are ready to change their lives and our industry. We need to change it, and nobody can do this for us. Most of us started interior design out of passion, not knowing what to do, or just to make ends meet. I feel at this point, we have to begin to move to the point where it is now a business and not just a business to make ends meet. We can actually become wealthy through what we love and through our passion. And these are the conversations I've started having with developers, how we can scale up to that level, because I find that most developers are all they all collaborate, they all work together, and that's why they're able to scale at that level because they do things together. So we would need to do the same thing, and there's no other way to do it than to also partner with developers who have done it in the industry, who are doing it, and who are willing and ready to work with us to make this happen. Okay, so for those of you, well, you already know about me, so there's no history about me. I'm not sharing anything about me on my profile or whatever. However, I will just say I am a servant leader in the interior design industry with a burning passion and desire to transform lives and businesses, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Those who know me and been following me for years, you will know that I am passionate about interior design. Most of the things I do is within the interior design industry. Even before I became the president of the association, I was always doing this. So that's why for me, having this conference and making it the 5th edition, it was very important to me to not just have an event where people come for a conference and go. It was more of transforming lives and all that. And I hope that subsequently other conferences that we're going to have would help people to also scale up in whatever aspect of their life that they are. So now you might be wondering, why should you even join this? Why should you join the BIDA? Why should you join them? One, you have to cultivate a billionaire mindset. And that's why we're going to be having people who are going to help us shift our mindsets. You've spoken to Ezekiel. Ezekiel is one of my best kept secrets, which I'm ready to share. And I'm also going to share the other people who are also going to be part of this program. You cannot become a billionaire or whatever without having to work on your mindset. You have to believe that you can do it. I find that when I have conversations with interior designers or some, maybe most of the times, upcoming ones or whatever, you ask them, take yourself out, go to a 5-star restaurant, buy yourself food, because I always do that with my students. I say, buy yourself food, take a picture and send me a picture. And you hear things like, I'm on FitFarm, no, it's too expensive. Question, if you cannot spend that kind of money for yourself, or you cannot even take yourself out, how do you intend to spend clients' money? That means when they give you money to spend to do their project, you would either not know how to spend it, or you think of how to transform your own lives in the process, okay? So you should have a billionaire mindset, and that's the only thing. And for most of us, I think the thing that is limiting us might also be mindset. Thinking that, where a lot of us in the industry, how am I going to do it? Or is it just for a certain kind of people, or it's for a certain kind of person? I don't believe that. I've actually seen interior designers grow from grace, and I've seen them and I know where they are. Some of them are on this call, and I know that it's actually possible, provided you're consistent and you also have that mindset that you can actually do that, okay? Now, strategic partnerships is another reason why you should join. Like I said, I've spoken to developers. It's as we begin to unveil for those who become part of the BIDA, we'll begin to tell you the developers we're going to be working with and how we intend to do that. But in summary, what we're trying to do is get interior designers, one, to own properties. So take, for example, there's an initiative in the BIDA that's going to be called Build, Design, and Own. How can we work with developers who are building? Okay, how can we help them design the space? And in exchange for our service, we get a property. So it could be that, take, for example, maybe a developer gives you 10 buildings to do, and maybe your money or whatever it's they're going to make is 50 million, for example. We can decide and say, in exchange for that, can I have a 2-bedroom apartment, or can I have a 2-bedroom, whatever that money can make. I find that if we do that, not only are you beginning to own assets yourself, which definitely would appreciate, you're beginning to own things yourself. So you don't necessarily have to live in it. However, you can decide to turn that apartment to an Airbnb, and that becomes a multiple stream of income, and money is coming from that and all that, okay? So, but I will speak more on it when you become part of this. But for you to have an idea, exactly what we're looking at is how to have partnerships that will definitely lead to wealth creation. Also how to monetize your design passion, which I've talked about. So even down to flipping homes or staging. I think someone mentioned the home staging during the conference. So things like that. How can we stage homes for real estate people or developers? How can we have a staging contract with the developer for the next 5 years? How can we make this happen? These are the things, a few things that we're going to be looking at. How can we do this so that we can also scale? Then I've mentioned before how to monetize your passion for assets, and that's owning properties from your passion. Then real estate investment mastery. Because it's an industry that we're also just going into that we do not understand, there's also going to be education on real estate. How do we understand real estate? And that is where Mrs. Grace comes in. She's an expert in real estate mastery and education and all that. We're going to learn from her how to know what to go into, what not to go into, what not to do, and things like that. Because if you do not have knowledge of that industry, it will be very difficult for us to go into that, okay? I see a situation, and I think I was speaking to some interior designers during the conference, where nothing is stopping us interior designers to dabble into that industry and even come up with an estate that we design ourselves, and we know that's designed by us to prove and to show that we can do it and do it better. So the opportunities are endless, okay? Endless opportunities. Now, financial literacy and wealth creation. Yes, at the end of the day, when we make this money, how are we going to ensure that we're doing the right things with the money? How are we sure that we're going to create more wealth for ourselves? How are we even educated enough to understand how to work with the numbers, okay? We're going to be having that as part of the mastermind, the networking with industry titans, and that's between the interior design industry and the real estate. We're going to leverage on relationships and partnerships to make things happen. Then we're also going to have a customized coaching program for the 12 months where we'll come together. There'll be physical gatherings, there'll be online gatherings where we can sit down. And we will not just have a physical gathering in just any place. It can be a physical gathering in Marriott or whatever. It will be somewhere where we want to see ourselves, where we can sit and have exclusive meetings, talk about our businesses and scale up, okay, with the people that are going to be on board and all that. Then there's going to be a resource hub. Now, what's the resource hub? We're going to be able to share, if we see anything, it could be any training or course or anything, or templates or contracts or anything that we think would benefit you as an individual or as your business. We definitely will have a resource hub where we're going to be sharing all that only exclusively to those in the mastermind. Okay, then at the end of the day, we have to unwind. So we'll definitely get to have an international retreat, but that will happen towards the end of the year, where after we've made all the money, we want to now go to a yacht, maybe not buy a yacht like Tinubu, but go to a yacht or somewhere and just have fun and enjoy ourselves and live the life that we all, I'm sure, desire and stuff like that. So we're going to have that. We'll have one a year. Then we'll have strategy sessions, and we're going to have a mid-year review where we have people like Ezekiel, Mrs. Grace, and other people, the financial coach, come and sit us down and we'll look at our how far have we gone. So it's not like we're going to just leave you. There's going to be a lot of hand holding. There's going to be a lot of, you have to be open. Not that you're pretending that I'm making 500 million when you know that it's only 5 million you're making. If you're not open with, not necessarily with me, but you need to be open with the coaches so that we can come up with a plan on how to take you from where you are to where you want to be. So you have to be as open as possible. So there'll be strategy sessions, there'll be monthly sessions, there'll be physical sessions and things like that. Now, as part of the bidder, you would also get a free membership to IDAN. So there's no way we're going to have anything and you do not have you associated with the association, okay? So you have to be a registered member of IDAN. However, if you become a member of bidder, we also get you a free 1-year membership for IDAN. So if you're already a member of IDAN, that means you don't have to renew again. We'll do a renewal for you and things like that, okay? So why do you need to join? You might still be wondering, why do I need to join? One, you have to get, as a member of bidder, you're going to have an accountability partner amongst ourselves, someone that is there to call you, check up on you, you're checking up on each other, finding out how you're doing and things like that so that we can do life together. At the same time, I also plan on having an accountability coach who would come to coach all of us, keep us accountable, tell us how to be productive, how to meet our timelines and things like that. Someone that will hold us accountable, okay? So that also would happen on the bidder, whatever. So like I said, it's a 12-month program. However, from the 1st to the 8 months, 9 months, yeah, it's be all from mindset building. There will be activities every single month, which we will share what will happen every single month. But just be rest assured that every month we're going to be in your face. We're not going to leave you. We're going to make sure that you get to that place that you want to get, which is the end goal for me, and which I'm also going to be on the bidder. So it's not like it's not like we're not going to, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be there. So we're all going to collectively come together and achieve our goals together. Okay. So at this point, I want to ask in the comment section or just type, what does success mean to you? What does success mean to you? What would make you feel that you're successful? So you can just type in the comment section, what would success mean to you? Let's see, what does success mean to you? For some people, it's money. So what does it mean to you? So please share in the comment section on the chat button. What does success mean to you? Okay. Or it doesn't mean anything to anybody. I can't see anything in the chat. Impact, fantastic, fantastic. Impact. I'm seeing someone like me. Yeah, that's me. And that's the billionaire mindset, right? When you know that what you have is not just for you, is how can I transform lives through what I have? That's a billionaire mindset. See my dreams come to pass. That's fine. But it has to be bigger than your dreams, just your personal dreams. It has to be bigger. It has to be bigger. So for you to be able to be part of this, you have to have a bigger mindset. How can I help not just myself? Yes, your life will be transformed, but how can I help the society at large or the industry at large or change lives and things like that? Fantastic. Doing good in all ways, changing lives, giving hope. Fantastic. Seeing the impact I have made. Fantastic. Okay, so that's good to know that we do not have people just saying to make money. All right, so we have people who genuinely are looking at how they can also make impact and all that. Okay, so how much, if I were going to ask you, if you're going to invest in yourself, how much would you invest? If, for example, this bidder, we said for you to pay for it, right, which definitely cannot be free, because the kind of people that I'm bringing on board, definitely, they are not even going to do free anyway. So how much would you be willing to invest in yourself? Just to have an idea, let me even see, how much will you be willing to invest in yourself? You can share in the comment section, how much would you be willing to invest in yourself? You can, let's see those that will use Naira, those that will use dollars. Okay, let's see. Okay, someone says 500 to 1M, fantastic. Okay, let's see, how much are you willing to invest in yourself? Let's see what others have to say. How much are you willing to invest in yourself? 100 million, fantastic. Oh, wow. That means you value yourself a lot. That's good. No amount is actually too small. Fantastic. Okay. So the whole idea is just to see where you're at. Someone says unquantifiable value. 500 to 1, 500K to 1 million, fantastic. What I'm asking is because I've heard people, when I say, take yourself, I'll go to a 5-star restaurant, they're like, it's too expensive. And it breaks my heart because for me, I'm like, I'm not saying take me to a restaurant. I'm saying take yourself to a restaurant and buy food for yourself. So when I see people like that who can't even take care of themselves, then it's a problem. 2 million, fantastic. Okay, so for the bidder, what the value that we're giving and the kind of people that we're bringing and the benefits you're going to get at the end of the day, definitely it's not going to be free and all that. But please note, it's a 1 year investment in yourself, and that's exactly what we're looking at. Okay, so I've spoken to the coaches and everybody that's going to be on board. We've gone back and forth and all that. However, this is what we have for the investment for the year, 6.5 million for the year, 6.5 million for the year. But now I want you to just calm down. Do not be scared. 6.5 million for a year divided by 12. And if you now think of exactly where you want to go to or what you want to get and the value you're going to get access to all those people and you're guaranteed to transform your business, then I do not think this is too much. However, because for those who want to sign up today, I've been able to talk to the people that we have on board, which I'm going to share with you, the people we're going to have on board, and we're able to, we're going to give a discount, right, for those who are ready to sign up like soon, right, for 5.3 million. Some of you already say, hey, where am I going to start from and all that, but relax. You should also know that I also have our backs. I also know that we're in times and season. However, because I also am interested in seeing you grow, I've been able to talk to people on ground and we're asked, they've offered to do like a 15%. So it gets better. Like I said, if we're able, you can hold on the slots for 15% of the amount, which is 800,000 naira. So instead of 6.5 million, if we're to do it per annum, and if you want to even go find out how much like an Ezekiel does his training, it's $10,000. If you want to go and find out how much Mrs. Grace is $30,000, so that you have an idea what the price is. And with the rate in which dollar is going now, you should already have an idea what it is. Now, we didn't bring dollar, we got Naira, so it's a bit relatable. However, for those who want to sign up, we can do a 15% to book your slot. However, this is starting in January, starting January 15th next year. It's not starting now. However, like we said, it's only for 10 people. It's only for 10 people, and those who want to sign up today, only for 10 people. So one of the things we're going to do, which I'm excited about, is for the first 3 people who sign up, we're going to do a raffle draw, and we're going to give out another plot of land. For the first 3 people who sign up, there'll be a raffle draw, and we'll give out a plot of land. We did that at the conference. We actually gave a plot of land. You all saw it for just buying a ticket to the conference. Now, for anyone who signs up for bidder, the first 3 people, there will be a raffle draw, and it will be done live so that everybody gets to see it and see how that works. Now, it doesn't just end there. I've spoken to Ezekiel. He has a conference coming up on the 27th and 28th of November. Now, for the first 3 people who sign up, would get to attend his conference absolutely free, but you have to sign up within the next 48 hours. The first 3 people, so that means the first 3 people get to do get a raffle draw to get the plot of land. At the same time, the first 3 people would also have access to Ezekiel's conference. And that's the whooping. His conference is 500,000 naira. He's taking 40,000 naira off, okay? So basically, that's it. Now, some of you might be saying, but I've already paid for the conference. Yes, there are some people that paid for Ezekiel's conference. And like I said, I've got you. So I've spoken to him and we said, for those who have paid for his conference already, what you have to do is, you can, if you want to be part of BIDA, which you should be part of BIDA, you get to pay 500,000 naira difference. However, because you already signed up earlier, and that was what he was talking about when he said we have a meeting tomorrow. For those who already signed up earlier for the conference, during the Blueprint conference, or those who signed up a few days after, you would also be having a private session with Ezekiel and myself tomorrow by 11 a.m. I will share the details. So for those of you who have paid, we're going to, we've created a WhatsApp group, so you find yourself in the WhatsApp group. So if you want to also be part of the BIDA, then you'll pay the 500 so that you become part of BIDA. Now, what we'll also do is that we'll ensure that because you already paid before, you would also be part of the raffle draw for the plot of land, okay? You also be part of the raffle draw. Then as we go on and all that, then for those of you, I'm sure, I don't know if anybody has logged in to get access to their scholarship, the free training from Mrs. Grace. If you haven't, please, you should go online and log in. I can share the details. It's for you for keeps. That course is for you for keeps, okay? However, if you don't have it and you're still part of BIDA, you're going to get it. Then, because Ezekiel talked about rest, we need to rest. So we're going to also throw in a complimentary spa session for the first 5 people who also sign up at Marriott, okay? So the first 5 people who sign up would also have a complimentary spa session at Marriott. So that means it's possible for you to win a plot of land, and you will also get a spa session. You will also get access to Ezekiel's conference, all for just signing up at 15% of the amount, okay? Now, you might be wondering, so what happens to the remaining money? How do I pay it? So we've sat down and we've worked out a plan that will work and be convenient for all interior designers, because I understand how we get projects and all that. You might not be able to do a lump sum, okay? So we've broken it down. So if you want to be part of the first 10, all you need to do is commit your first installment at 800. Then before January 8th, you do your 1.5. By April 8th, you do your 1 million, July 8th, 1 million, October 8th, 1 million. Why we're also doing it is because you would also definitely see the progress. You will see how your business is growing, and then you're able to also invest in yourself and also do that, okay? But like I said, it's just for 10 people. But from next year, like you've told me, anyone who doesn't sign up this period, the price is going to go back to 6.5. Unfortunately, I will not be able to do anything about it. And when it goes up to 6.5, that means there's no raffle draw, there's no spa treatment, there's no what else with some board drinking. You don't have all of that. So you want to know why you should also join the BIDA, which I would also be part of it. And honestly, guys, these people that I'm bringing, I've worked with them closely. I do not do rubbish. Before I even come out to say I'm going to beat my chest for anyone, I must have tried and tested. If I haven't tried and tested, I will not bring anybody to my platform, okay? And that's why this is very, very particular. I'm very particular about this. So for those of you who already know me, no need to go through my profile, but we're going to have Ezekiel. Ezekiel is going to work with us for the 1 year. He's invested in seeing interior designers succeed, and we're going to make sure that this happens. He's going to be part of the team. Then Dr. Simon, he is also a developer. He was also at the conference. He's also going to be part of the team to ensure that this happens. And Mrs. Grace herself will be there. She's going to guide us through. You also mentioned when they mentioned about giving properties for interior designers to do, which I'll also handle. However, I would only be able to do it with people that I can trust and people that want to be part of this. Okay. Then we have Moji Afolayan, also. She also is into development and all that. She also has properties. We'll share with you how all that will work. So at this point, I will take questions. However, some of you might be asking, so who is this program for? So this program is for any interior designer who wants to scale their business, who wants to get to that billionaire mark, who wants strategic partnerships, who wants to go into real estate investments and innovative monetization strategies. That's who should be part of this one. Then you do not need to have prior knowledge. You might be asking, do I need to understand real estate? Do I need to? No, you do not need to have prior knowledge of real estate because, like I said, you are going to be taught how to go into the real estate industry, to understand how it works and things like that. So you do not need to be an expert. All you need to be an expert in is interior design. Now, the duration, like I said, is 12 months of your life for 2024 next year. And like I said, we're only going to take people once and that's it. Once we start, and I do not want to do a big number. I know people have reached out to me how they can be part of it. It can be tempting to say have 100 people, but I'm not going to do that, okay? I feel that if I do that, it's going to water down the whole system. So like I said, it's going to be 10 people. I will scale up that way. I'd rather have those 10 so that when they're coming for Blueprint Conference next year, they will be the people that will be our testimonials for the next coming year and things like that, okay? So it's not going to be for everybody come inside. Is there going to be one-on-one coaching? Some people might be asking that. Yes, you're going to have coaching sessions with our mentors, and that will be shared with you. Networking, yes, networking with industry giants, like I said. Resource hub, I've mentioned already what's going to be resource in the resource hub. Now, you might also be asking, is there a money back guarantee? Yes. So we'll be offering you, if in 30 days of signing up, you feel we do not meet your expectation or you are not satisfied, please don't need to even explain to me. Just tell me, I am not satisfied. I will not ask you any questions. I will return your money back within the first 30 days. Okay? So if you know that within the first 30 days, you do not want to be part of it, please let us know. No questions asked, no beef. If I see you tomorrow, we will still be friends. Okay? So just be rest assured about that. So how should you enroll? You might be wondering, how should I enroll? Details will be shared at the end, how you can be part of this. Okay? And the whole idea is at the end of the 12-month program, definitely some people might still want to continue. It now depends on how you want to scale your business, okay? There will definitely be, so it's an ongoing support. We will not just leave you after 1 year. We definitely will continue to support you throughout your growth in your business and your life and things like that. Okay, so you're wondering, so should I do this? So with all I've said, so who would like to be part of it? You can share in the comment section. Does this sound like value to you? Is this something that would be valuable to you? Yes, no, you can share in the chat button. Yes, no, if it's something that you think would be valuable to you. But one thing is for sure that I know, I don't know about other people, but I know about myself that I am ready and I'm going to be invested in ensuring that this happens because things need to shift. There has to be a difference. People have to change the mindset that people that make money in our industry are either loose or whatever. Is not possible. It's also possible. I believe that it's possible for you to have it all. It's possible for you to be balanced, have a good business, have a good life, have a good family, have good kids. It's possible if we're able to juggle it. And that's why the whole video is to help you create a balance even in your family life and your personal life. Okay, so if this sounds like you, where I can say anything that has your name has my heart. Oh my, thank you, darling. Okay, so like I said, it's just 10 slots. 10 slots. Remember what I said on the conference day? I said, please, only those that have integrity. Because I've talked to so many developers and they're like, Jennifer, are you sure of this? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, I hope you are ready to vouch for people. So like I said, it's not all about collecting money. You might just be amazed that so take for example, you might be amazed that you might pay for it. And if I feel strongly that it cannot work, I might just say, no, it might not work, okay? But it has to be people that have integrity, people who are ready to grow and all that. So you need to act like ASAP if you want to be part of it. The bonuses are only available for those who sign up within the next 48 hours. For those who sign up within the next 48 hours. However, those who already paid for the conference, if you sign up today, what's it called? We're going to have a session, a private session with you tomorrow with Ezekiel. We're going to go to his office. I will share the details. And we're going to have at least 2 hours with him where we'll sit down and break down your business so that even before we get to January, we need to begin to assess and align with you now, even in December, okay? And I've told them when we're going to start having meetings, we will not be having meetings as they were going to be going to the Marriott. We're going to be going to, if it's at hotel, whatever it is, we're going to go to exclusive places where we can sit down, have meetings, brainstorm, and do what we need to do to get to that place that we need to get. So here it is. Okay, I think someone has shared the payment details for those who are interested. Payment details is up there. You can take a screenshot. We'll also share the details on the WhatsApp group. But please, 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 it's just 10 slots. I really wish I could do more, but at the same time, my integrity is also at stake. So I cannot accommodate so many people. So if you want to be part of this, like I said, it starts in January. But even before we get to January, once you secure your slot, we definitely will have sessions with you before the end of this year so that we even have a plan and know where you want to go. Then we can take it up next year. Okay, so if you have questions you want to ask, please ask away. I don't know if Ezekiel is still there, if he's run away. Please ask away. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will be happy to answer. Ezekiel, are you there? Have you run away? Are you there? Okay. Are you there? If you have any questions. No questions, no questions. If you have any questions, feel free to... Okay, someone said hello. Hi, Mata J. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Okay. You just said hello. Okay, do you have any questions? You just said hello. Or if you want to unmute yourself, please feel free to unmute yourself. And yeah, if you want to unmute yourself, please feel free to unmute yourself and let's have a conversation. Okay, he's in a noisy place. Okay, that's fine. If you're in a noisy place, that's fine. Please, you can type what you want to say if you have any questions. But in the absence of no questions, let me know so that we can call it a day. Now, for those of you who have already signed up for the conference, please, after this call, I will be sending you, we'll put you in a WhatsApp group. We'll be sending you details on where we're going to have the session tomorrow and what time so that we can all meet. However, I might just speak to Ezekiel to see if we can squeeze in those who want to sign up today. Although the agreement we had was just those who have signed up earlier. Those who want to sign up today, if it's possible for them to join the session tomorrow. So that's an added benefit again for you to be part of the session tomorrow. Okay, so do you have any other questions? If we don't, how much to sign up? Okay, so it's 800, just 15% of the total. The total is 5.3 for now. By next year, it's going to go back to 6.5. So for those who pay 300 for the conference, yes, so you pay 500 to make it 800, yes, Ufoma, to make it 800, so that you can be part of the training tomorrow. Okay, so I can pass on the training tomorrow for those who want to do that. Thank you very much. You're such a great person. Having you as an IDA president is a blessing. Thank God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, I think we can end it. However, if you want to send me a chat, you can chat me. If you want to talk to me, send me a private chat and we'll take you from there. I can see some people already chatting me. Yeah, that's fine. So send me a chat. We can have more conversations there. So thank you very much, everyone. And once we close out in this group, once we've had whatever, if we don't have I might not open it up to the public. So I'm hoping that we can get the 10 here, because I feel that for those who came for the conference, it should only be for those who came for the conference. And for those of you who might not be able to be part of it, that's fine. But please don't forget to register to sign up for the free online course you got from Mrs. Grace. We'll share the link so that you can also go there and learn how to go into real estate or how to create wealth for yourself. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. Ezekiel, are you there? Because I need him to end the meeting. Okay. Let me see if I can call him. Or he has disappeared. Because he's in another meeting. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay. Okay, in the absence of no questions, guys. So have a great weekend and see you next time. Bye.